Our concern is if we have some of that rotation that's down to the surface, that's where we could have a problem right now. So once again, that's why the tornado warning has been issued for Ellis County until 10:30. And remember, it does include this southern portion of Dallas County. Cedar Hill, you're not in it. Now, your sirens may be going off in Cedar Hill. Your sirens may be going off in DeSoto and Lancaster. But right now, the concern that I have, that is down in Ellis County. That is the northern part of Ellis County and Midlothian specifically. Let's put a quick track on that. If we can, a track on that will show it moving off to the east-southeast at about 35, maybe up to 40 miles an hour. And that forward speed will put it at these locations at these times. Ovilla, once again, 10:05, so just a couple of moments. Oakleaf, 10:08. Sterrett, 10:11. Waxahachie, here we are. Waxahachie, it'll arrive there at 10:12. Pecan Hill, 10:15. Boyce at 10:23. Palmer, 10:27. Garrett, 10:32. And in Ennis itself, on the other side of the county, Ennis itself, it will arrive there at 10:37. Now, I don't believe it's going to hold together. We're still going to have this in effect with this kind of a circulation, which is broad and it's relatively weak at this point. But in these locations, Waxahachie, Boyce, and Palmer, when this storm arrives there for you, you could certainly expect a lot of heavy rain, some gusty, potentially damaging winds, at least some pea and nickel size hail, potentially up to quarter size hail. You certainly will see that. But remember, Dallas County, far southern sliver of Dallas County, south of Cedar Hill. I mean, we're talking just this far southern part. You and the northern half of Ellis County are under a tornado warning until 10:30. Make sure you stay with us. WFAA at 10, it starts right now.
Live from Dallas-Fort Worth, this is WFAA News.
And we begin with a night of wild weather across North Texas. Torrential rain is causing flooding in parts of North Dallas, and you can see the water pooling at the corner of Hillcrest and Royal.
And that's not all we've seen. Take a look at what happened in Little Elm, where the wind nearly uprooted those small trees there. And FC Dallas couldn't start its game at Toyota Stadium in Frisco tonight. It was so bad that fans had to take shelter in the concourse. Yep, we want to thank Chris Moss for this video tonight.
Yeah, high winds and heavy rain are the big concern right now. So let's get to Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus.
Well, Chris, we're still looking at that tornado-warned storm in the far, far southern reaches of Dallas County, Ellis County until 10:30. Let's zoom in on this one more time. So as we look at the reflectivity, again, this thing is really, I mean, it's really unimpressive at this moment. I just don't see, I mean, the signature that we had earlier, the bit of a hook echo that was there, that has for the most part gone away. And now we're continuing to let's look at the velocity data. And as we look at the velocity data, you know, we had that couplet that showed, you know, we have the rain that's moving toward the radar. This is the rain that's moving away. This too is just really, which is great news. It's really unimpressive. So it's really broad rotation. I mean, very broad rotation. I don't see anything taking place at the surface to this, any type of rotation. We certainly could have some 50+ mile-an-hour winds, maybe some 60 mile-an-hour winds. I would suspect this tornado warning goes until 10:30. I wouldn't be surprised if it's canceled here. I think they'll probably give it another 5-10 minutes or so, maybe 15. I just don't see it going on unless things start to ramp back up. I just don't see this going on until 10:30. But the reason, and I mentioned this the last couple of nights on the news, you know, the tornado threat tonight, it hasn't been, you know, the last couple of nights we talked about, it's not zero, but it's really low. And if we do have a tornado, it's not going to be one that's on the ground, you know, for a long time. It's not going to be one of these EF3s or larger. But what we have happen here all the time is we get a quick little tornadic signature like the one that we had in this kind of this northwestern side of Ellis County. Do this, Jesse. Run through that for me, or Jason. I know you're over there running the radar. Now we're starting to see, move forward. Just look, see this right here? That's where we have our rotation right here. Then look how, see we have that little couplet? Then see how it just kind of has fallen apart and it's become broad. So there it is. Now it's almost gone. So what we see with these is, you know, we have these happen all the time. They have 60, 70, 80, 90 mile-an-hour winds. They're on the ground. They touch down, I mean, for seconds, and then they lift right back up, and then poof, they're just gone. That's what our concern was tonight for tornadic activity. Again, they're very small, they're very isolated, they don't last very long at all, but when they touch down, they can cause some serious damage, and if they touch down on your house, they could certainly create some major damage, and without a doubt, people can get injured or worse. So that's why we never want you to take this stuff too lightly. But this has been our only tornado warning tonight. We've had multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. We have also, and we'll take a look up into Dallas County, where we've transitioned in the Metroplex from a severe weather threat. Now we're looking at flash flooding that's taking place across the area. I have not had any reports of any rescues or anything like that, but remember, this is just starting. We have several more hours of rain, but the heaviest of the heavy is going to be out of Dallas County in the next hour or so. But Dallas and Rockwall County under flash flood warnings until 12:15. Go over to Tarrant County. Tarrant, you're under the same deal until 12:30 tonight. So, and although Tarrant, you could see for yourself, watch this. There's the heavy rain. There it goes into Dallas. So Tarrant, the rain is slowing down for you. You're still going to have some light to moderate rain for the next couple of hours. That's why your flash flood warning goes until 12:30. But look at Dallas County. Shift the radar over so we're just looking at Dallas and also Rockwall right now. There's still a lot of heavy rain here in Dallas County and also across Rockwall County. Now let's head up to Collin and also to Denton County. And as you take a look at Collin, it's just widespread light to moderate rain. A little bit of heavy stuff down here in south of Denton, down toward Louisville, Corinth. You're picking that up as well. So and hey, listen, we're in a horrible, horrible drought right now. Zoom out and let me see the Metroplex, guys, if you will, please. The entire Metroplex right now is under a severe drought. This is great news, and I've said this for years. Droughts always end with floods. I don't have a big flood in my forecast tonight, thankfully, but we certainly have flash flood warnings. So at a minimum, the heavy rain that we're seeing right now, 1 to 2 inches plus, that's going to put a nice dent in the drought. It's certainly not going to end it. Remember the drought we had last year in August? It was kind of at its peak, and then the third and fourth week of August last year, we had that 9 inches of rain in Dallas, and that really ended the drought for not only Dallas County, but a big chunk of North Texas. Now, I don't have that taking place tonight. Zoom out a little bit wider, and let's take a look at the DMA map here, if you will. This storm system is fairly progressive. It's moving along. The one last year in Dallas County, it sat in place for multiple hours, and this is not doing that tonight. So it's a totally different situation than what we had last August, the flooding in Dallas County that ended the drought. Now, that is not happening right now. Now let's take a look at the models. Jason, can we put that model up, the one I've been using tonight? I believe it is the NAM, if I'm not mistaken, the North American model. Take a look at this here. There's 11 o'clock. Is this the one, guys? There it is. Okay, here's midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. See how this is moving along. So we still have rain around at 1 o'clock in the morning. Go to 2 and then to 3 o'clock. Cold front's on top of us at 3 o'clock. You see how still some rain across the Metroplex, but the heavy stuff is shifting by 1, 2 o'clock in the morning to areas that haven't had a whole lot of rain today. So that's certainly good news. Let me go back to Ellis County real fast. And I do want to look at what's going on in Ellis County. And I want to take another look at that radar before we go back to Chris and Cynthia for another update. I know they've also been checking with emergency management in Ellis County and in Midlothian specifically. We'll see if they have any reports there from police or fire or emergency managers. But we are absolutely not seeing, Jesse, I'm not seeing any rotation. Put the velocity on there for me, please. I'm not seeing any rotation, and I know you're looking at a couple of different radars off camera. I mean, if anything, it's really, really broad, and we have some gusty winds. Jesse, I mean, please disagree with me if you think that's incorrect.
As much as I'd love to disagree with you, I do not. The rotation definitely has broadened out, Pete. And the other thing, too, what we saw earlier that kind of ended the rotation at first, the outbound winds got really strong and kind of wrapped around. Now, even the outbound winds are starting to lose. They're still very strong, but they are starting to lose a little bit of intensity. Yeah. You can actually see on our radar, those bright oranges and yellows kind of dissipate just a little over the last 2 or 3 scans. So you see you have that right ball here. Right over Midlothian.
Right there.
Then as we go, scan by scan, it starts to get see how it's kind of losing that brightness. So still strong winds, but the rotation has broadened out. That's great news. And Pete, the velocity still strong, but not as intense as it was just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, as I look at this, I'm thinking one of the things that maybe we could see, again, I'm just trying to think of the different things that could happen with this. It would be those winds. It could, maybe this storm collapses. We have some, because we still have the tornado warning in effect until 10:30, but maybe this is a collapsing thunderstorm at some point. Maybe we have those downburst winds of 50 or 60 miles an hour, but I'm not seeing, I'm with you, Jesse, and I don't see anything rotating at all, and you're right, it's definitely in a weakening phase right now, pretty significant weakening phase right now. So good news for you that live in Waxahachie. Here's some video in Little Elm. Look at that. I think that's probably a potted plant, but you get the idea. Winds are fairly strong, blowing this around, that wind-blown rain there in Little Elm. So there you go. I've already got the jack-o'-lanterns out. So my thanks to whoever sent me that on a tweet. But there we are. Flash flood warnings right now. Dallas County, Rockwall County till 12:15. We are also looking at Tarrant County. We have flash flood warnings until 12:30. So that's the latest on the radar right now. Good thunderstorms, strong to severe thunderstorms. They're going to, they may drop this. Jesse, have you communicated with anyone about them dropping that tornado warning and maybe transitioning over to a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Ellis County?
Yeah, they actually are going to keep the tornado warning for now. But the National Weather Service issues the warning is also acknowledging that this is a diminishing threat, but they are going to go ahead and let it run for now. So we expect it to last at least another 10. It may be canceled before 10:30, which I would think it would, but for now they're going to keep it.
Okay. Well, and thank you for that update. So there we are. Cynthia, Chris, let me check in with you guys here for just a moment. Have you guys had any reports of any damage or any updates? And I know our weather producer, Jason Joseph's going to give us an update here in just a second on winds at his weather station. But anything that you guys can tell us that you're hearing out of Ellis County right now?
All right, yeah. So I just got off the phone with Midlothian Police, Pete, and the dispatcher told me they are having a lot of reports of transformers that are blown throughout the city of Midlothian right now. Says a lot of residents are calling and asking if they should take shelter. I asked if they have any reports of damage so far or any injuries. The dispatcher said no. The biggest thing right now are those blown transformers, Pete.
Okay, and that makes sense. With the strong winds like that, those transformers always blow. I know our weather producer, as he always is, he's here with us during these severe weather events. Jason, I know you have, he's a weather geek like the rest of us. Jason, I know you have your weather station, your Davis weather station set up. What's the latest wind gust there in Midlothian at your house?
I can't get logged in.
You can't get logged in. There you go. So much for giving Davis Weather Instruments a plug on TV tonight. Probably some type of power outage and internet outage. But Jesse, have you seen any wind reports coming out of Midlothian or really anywhere in this northern part of Ellis County or far southern Dallas County?
Nothing confirmed, but we have seen some estimates of about 50 to 55, but no confirmed measured reports. These were storm spotters and emergency crews out in the area.
Okay. And we're still seeing a lot of, let's run through a couple of these tower cams. We're still seeing a lot of lightning, a lot of very heavy rain across the area. I know I can see our Fort Worth camera. I have a lot of cameras over here just off camera that you can't see, but we have our Fort Worth camera. We have our Dallas camera. The current winds are gusting at Fort Worth to 71. This is the camera. It never fails. It's Murphy's Law. Every time I go to one of these cameras live on the television, there's no lightning. 5 seconds ago, it was covered in lightning, but you get the idea. The heavy rain in Fort Worth, the temps gone from, we had a record high today. We tied a record high today of 96 degrees. Right now in Fort Worth, it's 71 with winds gusting to 40. Our next camera that we have, as we take a look at the next one here, that will show what's taking place. Whatever one you guys have, this is Dallas, so we still have the rain. Not raining as you still see some lightning. The rain's not as heavy as it was just a short time ago, but still some heavy rain right now. Quite a bit of lightning is taking place in Dallas County. Have things calmed down as we take a look to the north up in Denton? I know Denton, I believe, had a 56-mile-an-hour wind gust around 8:30 or so tonight, maybe 8:45. There's a current gust of 31. The rain has certainly slowed down in Denton from where we were earlier tonight, and our Weatherford camera earlier was really lit up with a lot of lightning and very, very, we had a 58-mile-an-hour gust in Weatherford. There were some reports of 70-mile-an-hour winds in Parker County. Weatherford's in Parker County, but some 70-mile-an-hour winds in Parker County. I think Weatherford, this is at Weatherford College. I know you can't see it because it's raining so hard, the camera's obscured, but we did have a gust there, I think of 58 miles an hour. And the temperature in Weatherford today was like 96, 97, and right now it's cooled to 69. The cold front hasn't even made its way through. Cold front will come through at about 3 o'clock in the morning.